Hello, my name is Oscar Neerstrass. Today I'd like to give you a quick guided tour of the syntax of Smalltalk. Smalltalk syntax is quite compact and famously fits on a postcard. Smalltalk syntax is designed so that you can read it aloud and it should make sense. For example, Smalltalk all classes select is abstract returns all the abstract classes in the Smalltalk system. Let's start with syntax for all kinds of literal values. As you would expect, Smalltalk not only supports integers and various kinds of floats, but also radix numbers with an explicit base. Here we see the number 42 in binary, octal, and hex. Strings in Smalltalk are surrounded by single quotes. Type two of them to get a single quote within a string. Typable characters start with a $sign. This is the letter A. Just ask the character class for a non-typable character such as a tab or a new line. A symbol is a sequence of characters starting with a hash. Symbols are pretty much like strings except that they are unique. You can have many strings with the same value, but only one symbol. A literal array starts with a hash, followed by matching parentheses enclosing any sequence of literal values. Literal arrays can be nested. A byte array is similar but uses square brackets and can only contain 8-bit integers. Pharo Smalltalk has just 6 reserved keywords whose meaning should be obvious, except perhaps for this context, which is used in metaprogramming to access the runtime stack. Expressions in Smalltalk are formed by sending messages to objects. There are 3 kinds of messages: unary, binary, and keyword. 3 factorial is a unary message. It sends the message factorial to the object 3. Binary messages consist of operators like plus or minus, followed by a single argument. 3 plus 4 sends the message plus to the object 3 with the argument 4. Finally, keyword messages consist of a number of keywords, each followed by a colon and an argument. Hello world, copy replace all world with folks sends the message copy replace all with to the string hello world with the 2 arguments world and folks. Within a complex expression, first unary messages are evaluated left to right, then binary messages, and last of all, keyword messages. 2 raised to 1 plus 3 factorial is the same as the second expression here with parentheses. Cascades are used to send a sequence of messages separated by semicolons to the same receiver object. Here we send 3 add messages to a new ordered collection followed by a reversed message. The result is a reversed collection. Lastly, a dynamic array consists of arbitrary expressions in curly braces separated by periods. Don't confuse literal and dynamic arrays. A literal array treats every token inside it as a literal, not an expression. Statements in Smalltalk are expressions separated by periods. We can also declare temporary variables such as a, b, and c here, and assign values of expressions to them. A block closure is a snippet of code within square brackets. It's essentially a lambda or an anonymous function. You can evaluate a block by sending it the message value. The value returned is that of the last statement in the block, in this case the value of 3 plus 4. A block can take arguments, which are declared at the beginning of the block with a colon followed by an OR bar. This block increments its argument. We evaluate it by sending the message value colon with an argument. This block has 2 arguments, a and b, and a temporary variable c. To evaluate it, we send it value value with 2 arguments. As you might guess, this generalizes to yet more arguments. Interestingly, Smalltalk has no syntax for control constructs, but instead implements them as messages to objects. Here we ask if there are fewer than 1,000 classes in the system, and then we send that Boolean object the message if true, if false. If it's true, we get one string back, else the other. There is also no syntax for defining classes. Here we send a message to the class object, asking it to create the Hello World subclass for us. Class names start with an uppercase letter and are globally visible. Methods can be defined programmatically, just like classes, or using the IDE. Now we'll create one as a fixit. In this snippet, we see a monkey wrench icon next to the hello message, indicating that there is no hello method implemented yet. We can click on the icon to fix it. Every method starts with a declaration of the message and any arguments. In this case, it's just hello with no arguments. Methods often start with a brief comment in double quotes. Note that a comment is not a value in Smalltalk, unlike a string. We return a value using the caret symbol. Here we just return the hello world string. We can similarly declare methods for keyword messages. In this case, the method name or selector is hello : and there is a formal parameter, a string. Pragmas are annotations in angle brackets. The GT example pragma informs GT that this method contains test code and returns an example object. As in blocks, we must declare any temporary variables within OR bars before any executable code. We assign the values of expressions to variables with the := operator, and statements are separated by periods. In GT, we can directly evaluate and inspect the example. Finally, we can browse through the postcard example and see how it demonstrates all the syntactic constructs of Pharaoh's Smalltalk. We have unary messages such as is-nil and size, binary messages like ampersand, plus, and less than, and keyword messages such as do and show. There are temporaries like y, byte array, and var, and an argument x, globals transcript and character. We use self, super, and this context. We have both dynamic and literal arrays, integers, floats, characters, and so on. You'll find more GT and 7-minute videos on our YouTube channel, or you can explore GT by downloading it from gtoolkit.com. Thanks for listening.